of the 9 November decision of the Supreme Court on the Babri Masjid issue has been disposed of by the court. And with us right now is Mr. Vishnu Jain, the advocate on behalf of the Hindu Mahasabha. Mr. Vishnu, it has been disposed of. What do you have to say on that?
See, today the Supreme Court has dismissed all the 19 review petitions, including the petition filed by Hindu Mahasabha, including the petition filed by Nirmohi Akhada, including the petition filed by all the Muslim parties and the intellectuals. So all these review petitions have been dismissed, so which leads to the legal conclusion that the judgment of the Supreme Court of 9 November 2019 has to be implemented. Now the central government has to form the trust, the state government has to allot an alternate land, and the judgment of the Supreme Court of 9 November has to be implemented. All the obstructions for construction of a Ram Mandir have been removed by the Supreme Court.
But Mr. Vishnu, you all went for the review petition. What was the case behind it? Because you had challenged the alternate land which was given to the Muslim party.
See, our stand was very categorical before the judgment of the Supreme Court that whatever is the judgment of the Supreme Court, we will abide by it. And this stand was of the Muslim parties also, by All India Muslim Personal Law Board also. They had a very categorical stand that whatever is the judgment of the Supreme Court, they will abide by it. But despite saying all these things in public domain, they went ahead and filed a review saying that Supreme Court is not infallible and they have a legal right. So in that scenario, our review was a counter review in the sense that if they are given an open court hearing, so our stand that we are also aggrieved by 5 acres alternate land given to them. In that scenario, our legal pleading should also be heard as a counter review. With that perspective, with that objective, we had filed this review petition. So that's why our review petition was filed in the last, and we were not the persons who had initiated the review.
Per se, you want to say that you were satisfied with the court judgment?
Definitely, we were satisfied when the judgment came of the Supreme Court on 9 November. I said that I am satisfied. But if anyone is dissatisfied and if they want that, no, they want the land of mosque at the place where deity is situated, then in that scenario, we have to take our legal remedies. We have to take alternate pleas.
There were several lawyers, prominent lawyers, who had questioned the decision of the Supreme Court. That Supreme Court has been contradictory in its own sense. In the 100-page addendum on which the entire decision was based was basically something which was very controversial.
See, it may be controversial, but the law is very clear that the judgment of the Supreme Court is binding on all of us by virtue of Article 142. Supreme Court is supreme, may not be infallible, but today the Supreme Court has again reiterated that it is supreme and the judgment of 9 November has to be implemented.
My last question to you is the curative petition is always open, even after the review has been struck down by the court. Yeah. Then it can go on for a long time. The issue remains unresolved.
See, the procedure in curative petition also is very, very clear that after the judgment of Rupa Ashok Hurra versus Hurra, the law of curative petition has been developed. And in that also there is no open court hearing. There is a certificate required by the senior advocate, and then only a curative petition can be filed. And when the curative petition is filed, it also leads to the same conclusion, because whatever pleadings the parties had to make, they have made till this stage of review. So there is nothing additional which comes in the scope of curative petition also. So I think if someone files a curative petition, it will also have the same consequences which are of review. Having said that, if someone wants to file a curative petition, they have a legal right to file a curative petition.
We were talking to Vishnu Jain. He is the advocate on behalf of the Hindu Mahasabha, and we are reporting from Supreme Court.